Hi everyone, welcome back to the Hollywood Actors Guide to Surviving the Film and Television Industry. This is your host here in North Hollywood, Jennifer Lynn Warren, helping to guide you along your way in this crazy business. So we're going to start today with a quote from Henry Miller, and he said, "The only thing we never get enough of is love, and the only thing we never give enough of is love." Ain't that the truth? It's all about love, isn't it, my friends? And so let's see how that relates to our self-tapes and a little faux pas that happened on Mandalorian. Now, I am not a Star Wars huge fan. I know. I'm more of a Star Trek girl. Don't hate me. But something happened this week. It made the news where there was someone in the background in one of the scenes in a white t-shirt and a pair of jeans. Now, you don't even have to be a Star Wars fan to know that jeans and a white t-shirt is probably not somebody that belongs in this scene. And when we do our self-tapes, some of you guys are getting so meticulous in particular about your lighting being 1,000% correct, or the wing on your eyeliner being absolutely perfect, like all these crazy things, and you're not focused on the story and the work, and you're not giving the story enough love. You're putting your love in all the wrong places. And the reason I bring up what happened on The Mandalorian is, you have everybody on set. You have all these people looking through the monitors. You have directors, script supervisors. You have all of these editors, colorists, sound designers, Foley artists, all these people looking at this TV show before it went out into the universe, and nobody caught it. And it's pretty glaringly obvious. It's kind of like that Starbucks cup back in Game of Thrones. Once you see it, you cannot unsee it, right? So why is it that so many people saw this show and so many fans saw the show, and it wasn't until one person just happened to notice it, and they probably posted it somewhere on the internet, it got picked up by a news source, and then it went viral, and now we all know about it? We didn't all see it, right? Even the people whose job it is to catch things like that didn't catch it. Why? Because my guess is they're focused on story. And so these minute details can, even for the highest paid professionals in the industry, can kind of get sidestepped, not noticed, forgotten about, and honestly, who cares? For 99% of the people who watch it, who didn't know that it's there, are not going to catch it. If not higher percentage, I bet it's even higher than that. They're not going to catch it. And it's the same thing with your self-tapes. So you got a perfect take and the neighbor's dog happened to bark far away in the distance for a moment. Who cares? Send the tape. Someone is not going to not cast you because they're like, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they sent a tape where I heard kind of a dog barking in the background." Now, you would know if you're watching a tape and a noise happens that's absolutely distracting. Like right now, my cat is running around chasing a rabbit mouse, and you probably hear him running across the floor, but I feel like I'm on a pretty good roll right now, so I'm not going to re-record this. I'm going to let this be the one that lives and breathes out there in the world, and you guys just have to deal with my cat. And it's the same thing with your self-tapes. You guys are being so critical and not giving yourself enough love and not giving casting enough love for them to treat them enough as human beings, to know that you are a human being and you live in the real world, and we're all doing all this stuff at home, that they're not going to be forgiving and loving. So be more loving to them, be more loving to yourself, and heck, even be more loving to the creators of Mandalorian or any TV show or movie that accidentally lets a thing or two slide by. Okay, you guys know that I like talking about being emotionally healthy here on the podcast, something that I think has been difficult for all of us in recent days, or months, I should say, the past year, in fact. And so something happened, and I think most of you probably have heard of it. If not, oh my goodness, where have you been? And the thing that happened is this.
These poor people live in these tiny apartments. Like I'm looking at his, background, and he's got his TV and.
Yeah, muted. I know it's a shitty apartment. That's why give me this job so I can get a better one. All right. Um, ready?
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
No, it's
Lucas.
totally.
Me-
Listen, I'm living in
I'm
a.
so sorry.
I'm living in a 4x4 box. It's fine. Just give me the job and we'll be
No,
fine.
I'm
So obviously this isn't great, right? What the director did, not great. And here's the thing. When you go into an audition room, whether you're an actor, director, casting director, assistant, whoever you are, they're either going to see you and see the character you've created and see the work you're there to do, or they're going to see your issues. And obviously, in this moment, we are seeing the director's issues. We are seeing his judgment of the actor's apartment, his judgment of what he thinks an actor should be and look like and be financially. And Lucas Gage is a working actor. Like, he's been in a bunch of stuff, but he's not some $1 million an episode season 10 Big Bang Theory actor. Like 99.999% of working actors, he is still struggling. Let me say that again. Like 99.9% of working actors, he is still struggling. It's such a misnomer that actors make a lot of money in this business. We don't. You know who else does not make a lot of money? Casting directors don't. And sometimes directors don't. We're all independent contractors. We're all hustling from job to job. A director might make $30,000-$40,000 on something, and you think that's a lot of money, but that might be the only film they shoot for 3 years because they're stuck in pre and post production and they can't let their baby go, right? And so I think a great lesson that we can take, and what Lucas did so beautifully, is he did not allow that to make him the cowardly actor, and he didn't ignore it. It affected him. And so he let the people in the room know that it was affecting him, and he took power and he took control over that room, and he's like, listen, if you think this is a bad situation, get me out of it and give me the job. Like, that took balls to say that, but you know what? He's right. And so I think it's a moment for us to look at and realize, especially in a day that we are auditioning over Zoom and people don't know if they're muted, or they may think they're muted, and you may end up hearing things that you are not supposed to be hearing over these auditions. It's a good time to really consider, if this goes south and I hear something, how am I going to respond in a positive and way that is loving and nurturing also for the other people on the other side of the room, because they have their own issues, right? So we're seeing their issues, and how can we help them? Okay, guys, I'm going to try to explain this one, but it's hard. But I'm going to do my best because I am here for you. And what I want to leave you with is a little bit of acting technique. Is I want you to stop being real. You guys are so focused on like, oh, I have to be so real and so authentic and yada, yada, yada. Whereas what you really want to do is tell the truth. Stop being real and tell the truth. What does that mean? That means when you're breaking down this scene and you're like, oh, the character cries right here. You're preparing these scenes, and then you're like, oh, I got to use my tear stick here, or I got to pull out my nose hair, whatever it is that you do to get yourself to cry. That should be another podcast, how to cry. I'll write that one down. There are better things to do than those two things, by the way. What you're doing is you're limiting it. You're not being real. You think you are. You're like, the reality of the situation is this woman just lost her daughter, and so she starts crying. I don't know, does she? Have you been in a situation in which something has happened in which you should start crying and you don't? Why? Maybe you're in shock. Maybe you have disbelief. Maybe you think the other person's lying. Or maybe you're feeling it and maybe you're devastated. Maybe you've never been so sad in your life, but like nothing happens. And I'm not even talking about as an actor portraying a character. I mean as a human being in the real world. Have you gone to a funeral and you're like, I should be crying and devastated right now, but I feel like socializing and I'm kind of happy, but I am sad. It's not that I'm not sad. Why am I behaving this way? Or you finally are on a date with this guy or girl who are like your dream person, you're in love with them, you're so happy, you couldn't wait to be with them, but then you're just like, here we are at this really expensive restaurant, they're paying, it should be great, and I'm bored. Even though I'm interested in what they're having to say, I'm having trouble connecting with them. So what I'm trying to say is, when you're breaking down these scripts and these scenes, and you're making these judgments on these characters, think to yourself, has there ever been a time in my life when I should have reacted in the way that seems obvious in the script and I didn't? I reacted a different way, and take that different way and see how it plays in the scene, because you might find that you're really actually hitting true reality, which is the truth, instead of, quote, being real in the character. All right, that's it. That's all I have for you guys today. Happy Thanksgiving. I know I wished it to you guys last week. Listen, my calendar was like a huge mess and I was looking at the wrong thing. But yeah, happy Thanksgiving again. Be safe out there. Drive safely. Eat out safely. Eat with other people safely. I don't want anything happening to any of my people, all right? I care about you guys, so stay safe. Good luck out there. Break a leg, and remember, you are not alone.